Somewhere in Africa right now, a passenger is landing at an airport with air conditioning that actually works. Automated gates that scan their passports in seconds. Baggage that arrives before they finish their coffee. Clean terminals, fast Wi-Fi, and a building that makes them feel like the country they just landed in means business. You can find such airport experiences in Addis Ababa or Dubai or Nairobi or Accra. In Lagos, though, it's not that reliable. But here is what is changing right now as you watch this video. Nigeria has committed $500 million to completely tear down and rebuild the Murtala Muhammed International Airport in Lagos State. This is a complete overhaul, a mega construction project like none other in Africa. The contractor is on site. The old terminal is already down. And when this is finished, the airport that has been Nigeria's most embarrassing first impression for 50 years will become one of the most modern aviation facilities on this continent. And mind you, this is not an announcement. This is already happening. There's a number that should bother every Nigerian. Every year, 67% of all air passenger traffic entering and leaving Nigeria passes through a single airport. Just one airport, the Murtala Muhammed International Airport in Lagos State. And for 5 decades, that airport has been the first and last impression Nigeria makes of the world. Think about what that means. A foreign investor lands at MMIA for the first time. Before they meet a single Nigerian, before they taste the food, before they see the skyline or feel the energy of what Lagos actually is, they walk through that terminal. That terminal is Nigeria's handshake with the world, and for too long, it has been a weak one. In 2024, 4.3 million international passengers moved through MMIA. That is 6.5% more than the year before. In 2025, Murtala Muhammed International Airport recorded the fastest growth in air traffic movements of any major airport in Africa, 11.8%. Cargo traffic went up 34.4%, the highest among Africa's top 10 airports. The demand is real, it's growing, and it's been growing consistently for years. But the facility didn't offer that inspiring first impression. Terminal 1, the original international terminal, was processing just 500 passengers per hour at peak periods in a terminal that handles millions of passengers annually. You do the math, the queues, the heat, the broken systems, they were not accidents. They were the predictable results of pouring millions of passengers into a building that was simply never designed for this volume. The managing director and CEO of Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, Buni Onabanjo Kuku, said it plainly, quote, "For decades, the temperature at Murtala Muhammed International Airport has not reflected the Nigeria that lives in the hearts of the nearly 4 million passengers who pass through its doors every year." That line hits differently when you have personally sweated through arrivals at midnight, wondering why the air conditioning stopped caring about you. You know that feeling, right? So, what changed? What finally moved this from a national complaint to active construction? Well, the answer is a $500 million commitment, a named contractor, a building that is already down, and a 22-month clock that has already started ticking. Mind you, this is not a renovation. This is a complete ground-up rebuild. And for a country whose airport has been a sore point for far too long, that is not a small thing. That is the beginning of a different story entirely. So let's get into the actual projects, because the details here are what separates this from every other Nigerian government announcement you have heard before and quietly forgotten. In February 2026, FAN, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, shut down Terminal 1 completely. Not partially, not in phases, complete shutdown. The entire building was cleared and contractors moved in to strip it to its bare concrete skeleton, replacing every inside. The plumbing, the electrical systems, the HVAC climate control, the ceilings, the floors. Everything you could see and everything you could not see was being removed and replaced, not repaired. The contractor executing this project is CCECC, the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation, working under the direct supervision of FAN's Engineering Services Directorate. These are the same builders behind the new Terminal 2, which was commissioned in 2022 and is currently the primary arrival points for major international carriers, including British Airways, Virgin Atlantic, Delta, Emirates, Qatar Airways, and Lufthansa. So this is not an untested team working onto an unfamiliar site. Now, here's what the finished Terminal 1 will actually look like. The facade gets a full glass curtain wall replacement, giving it the kind of modern exterior you associate with airports in Doha or Singapore. Inside, arriving passengers will flow through brand new biometric e-gates and digital check-in kiosks that dramatically cut processing times. The baggage handling system is being completely overhauled, with new carousels and advanced command centers designed to reduce the wait times that have frustrated passengers for years. Departing passengers will use a newly designed elevated bridge that takes them directly to the second floor, eliminating the need to drag heavy luggage from lower-level car parks. 2 independent ring roads are being built around the terminal complex to separate arriving and departing traffic. A skywalk will connect Terminal 1 directly to Terminal 2, meaning you can move between both terminals without stepping outside, without a shuttle bus, without confusion. A redesigned central square will sit between both buildings, giving the complex a coherent identity for the first time. Terminal 2 is also being expanded simultaneously, with the apron extended to accommodate more wide-body aircraft and approximately 15,000 square meters of additional space added to passenger facilities. Now, let's talk about capacity, because this is where the scale becomes genuinely impressive. Today, Terminal 1 processes 500 passengers per hour. After the rebuild, that number jumps to 3,840 passengers per hour. Terminal 2 currently handles 3,200 passengers per hour. Combined, the two terminals will process over 7,000 passengers every single hour, giving MMIA an estimated annual throughput of 17.6 million passengers. That is extraordinary. To put that in perspective, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi, one of East Africa's busiest hubs, handles approximately 7.5 million passengers annually. OR Tambo in Johannesburg, the busiest airport in Africa, handles around 21 million passengers. When this rebuild is complete, Lagos State will be in the conversation, and the economic logic behind all of this is straightforward. Aviation Minister Festus Keyamo laid it out at the Invest Lagos 3.0 Summit. Quote, just 6 hours across the Atlantic, you will get to South America from the Lagos airport. 6 hours down, you will get to Southern Africa. 6 hours to the Middle East, you will get to Dubai or Qatar. 6 hours up, you will get to Europe, either France or London. That is the equidistant advantage that Lagos provides as a hub. No other city in Africa sits at that crossroads, not Addis Ababa, not Nairobi, and not Cairo, Egypt. Lagos State is geographically positioned to be the transit capital of the entire continent of Africa. And for decades, the airport has been the reason that potential went unrealized. One honest note before we move on. While Terminal 1 is still under construction, a temporary departure hall of approximately 8,000 square meters is operational, with 20 check-in counters handling up to 1,500 passengers during peak hours. It is not glamorous, but it is functional and flights have not stopped. The building is down, the work is active, the clock is running. So we have the terminal being rebuilt from the ground up. We have the capacity numbers, we have the contractor on site, and the clock running. But the airport story doesn't end at the terminal doors, because the biggest frustration with MMIA has never been just inside the building. It has always been, guess what, getting to the building in the first place. If you have ever tried to reach Lagos Airport during rush hour, you already know what I mean. The airport sits in Ikeja, the state capital, and depending on where you are coming from, that journey can take anywhere from 40 minutes to 3 hours. Same distance, different days. That is Lagos traffic doing what Lagos traffic does. It has become a routine here. And for an airport trying to position itself as a continental hub, that kind of unpredictability is a serious problem, which is why the real announcement matters as much as the terminal rebuild. The federal government of Nigeria, in partnership with the Lagos state government, has announced plans to extend the existing Lagos rail network directly into the airport complex. The proposed line will connect from Ikeja bus stop, where the current rail terminates, running through the General Aviation Terminal, then through MMA2 and all the way to the International Terminal. The Minister of Aviation, Keyamo, described it clearly, quote, "We are working with the Lagos state government to extend that rail line all the way to the local through Courtney Aviation Services Limited and all the way to the international airport. That rail line is about to start. When this rail link is complete, a passenger will be able to board a train in central Lagos and arrive directly at their departure terminal without touching a single go-slow." That is not a small quality of life upgrade. That is the difference between an airport people dread and an airport people trust. But here is where I land in all of this. The entire building is physically down. The contractor is named and has already delivered T2. The capacity numbers, when realized, will put Lagos in the same bracket as Johannesburg. The geography of Lagos is unmatched in the continent. And for the first time in a very long time, the direction of travel at MMIA is unmistakably forward. Every Nigerian who has ever been embarrassed walking a foreign guest through that airport, every diaspora Nigerian who has braced themselves for the descent into Lagos, every investor who wrote off Nigeria because the airport told them to, this story is for you. Share it, because what is being built here deserves to be seen by the entire world. If you have enjoyed this breakdown of the Lagos International Airport, give me a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.